and you're listening to 2GLF 89.3 FM. Welcome back to the Relationship Whisperer Show with Miss Dragonfly, where we discuss all things relationships with the aim to make marriage great again. And also, if I may drop a line, we deal with hard truths for soft hearts. Don't we, Bluey? Welcome back
Hard
to
truth for
the
soft hearts.
studio.
What a cliche.
I know. Sometimes it may be a bitter pill to swallow. Yeah, for a lot of people that used to hearing all these, I should say it. I call it popcorn advice, but it's more like most people know it as politically correct advice, easy listening, sweet words.
But your advice is the hard truths.
Because only the hard truth will work.
Gobsmacked.
Will work. Yeah, it's no use by like saying, oh, you can eat whatever you want, it's fine and so forth. Where reality is, no, sweetheart, you can't have that second ice cream. It's going to clog up your arteries and add to your risk of diabetes because you're already overweight. So like that.
Some people are trying to get to diabetes type 3 now.
Oh, there is such a type 3.
I'm only joking.
Okay.
It just seems that way.
Yeah, yes. Well, yeah, that's the thing. We've been conditioned, like I say. Well, actually, we've been cotton-balled. Anything upsetting or anything uncomfortable, not to hear things like that.
Well, society's changed largely.
Yeah, but you know what? I think people's tolerance have changed, and it's not necessarily for the better. I think people now are less capable of dealing with life. Yeah.
But that's why they need to tune in to 89.3.
Yes.
Coming to you live.
Coming to you live, and especially if you want a relationship to work, you want a marriage to work, you want love to last for a lifetime. And going on that, a reminder to everyone they can download their free copy of my book, Your Complete Partner. How to choose a partner for love and marriage.
How much did you say again?
Absolutely free.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely free?
Yes. So just
say that every week.
The website, makemarriagegreatagain.net.
Makemarriagegreatagain.net.
And like I say,
that sounds like a MAGA thing.
Well, mga.
MAGA.
Mga.
Munga.
Mga. Mga.
Munga.
Mga. Yeah. Mga. So we'll be all your umgars. Okay. So if you want something to last a lifetime, there are very hard and advice and things you need to follow. And we covered that a lot of that last week, where I delve into, especially, like I say, men are very terribly underserviced. Yeah, in terms of relationship advice and support. There's a dearth of things out there. So, last week I went over that what you need, a man needs to firstly consider what he needs before he goes and finds the partner, you see. I mean, look, everyone knows what they want, but few people actually know what they need. It's surprising. People don't know what they need.
You can't always get what you want.
Yep. Exactly. So, there's certain things that, but when you ask people, it's like, it's all right. They don't know what they actually need. So last week, it was pretty much, we gave the advice on how, because look, everyone's different. Every man's different. They've got different needs. So we can't actually specify an absolute thing that you need, but we can give them the guidelines because it all depends on their situation. Obviously, but you think what you need. So reiterating, cover a little bit of last week. For a man, he has to think about what he wants to the journey that he wants. Well, I should say the destination, or where he wants to end up, either financially or otherwise. If you want to retire early, what age do you want to retire? You want to keep at it until you're 65 and 70? Few people would say, yeah, I want to do that, don't they?
Not too many.
Not too many. Or, you want to have a retire to the country and so forth. So that's a person there would have a different need than someone that wants to, I had someone say, when I asked this 20-year-old, what age do you want to retire at? It says 30. Oh, yeah. So what career do you want? I say, oh, no. It doesn't have to be make that much money, because when you make too much money, it's a lot of pressure on you. It's very tiring. So rather not take it easy, not make too much. Hang on. So if you retire at 30, how much money do you think you need? A lot.
I
So,
haven't thought about that yet.
so you actually need to make a lot of money then.
Does that include inflation or not?
Well, you have to take an account of inflation, but even in today's terms, even in today's, well, that's when, if you don't know how to work it out, when you need to help people someone to work it out, help you work things out. So what does that mean? That means you don't have that skill.
It means you're up the creek without a paddle.
Yep. So, things like that, you have to think about where do you want to end up, like I was saying, what your goal is. In life, I mean, if retirement. Oh, some people say, yeah, I want to climb Mount Everest. Oh, that's pretty good and well, but after you climbed it, then what?
Well, you have to find another one to climb.
And another one to climb, and then end up, after you get after a certain age, you can't climb mountains anymore. Then what do?
Find a different hobby.
Find a different hobby, and then
watch it on TV.
Yeah, and then what are you going to live on?
It's a lot safer.
And so once you get older, say in your 60s, then what happens? Sit around, or then you have to go to work because you spent all your youth climbing mountains. What are you going to live on now? And also, you might have had a couple of accidents because all your body worn out. You're in need of help, and you can't just stay in the hospital. You've got a broken leg, they fix you there, and then you send you home, and then what? Never mind aches and things, and people say, "Oh, I'm fine and well. I've got lots of friends," and say, "No, okay, they're going to come over and feed you hot chicken soup."
Yeah, leave the key under the mat.
Yeah, they come take care of you every day. I mean, would you do that for a friend?
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, every day.
I don't know about every day.
Like the other day, and then get called back. Oh no, it's not chicken soup anymore. We need to be taken to the doctor, or this and that. Everyone has their lives to live. They're not going to live for you. What's the incentive, really? They might have known you for decades, but you can't impose on other people. I mean, have you had a friend where kept asking you to come over to help and all that, and then you just got so pissed and said, "This is the last time I want to see that person." Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
So now, going back on, you have to think about where you want to get to, your goal, but it may not, to be able to get there, you may not have the skills to get there. Don't know how to go about it, or you just don't plain have time for it. And the example to reiterate from last week, the example I gave is, even if, say, you're an office worker, you're in corporate, especially high pressure. I mean, there's men that says, I earn a lot of money. I don't need anyone to earn money for me. Okay, but they, they have to work like 12-hour days. And to people that are not in corporate, that is actually quite normal. They end up working 12-hour days for 5 or possibly even 6 days a week. And then at the end of it, when you go home at night after work, you're exhausted and you just go to sleep to try to rest as much for the next day.
Yeah.
And then
other people can't understand it.
Yeah, and then the weekend, you're just too tired to do anything. You just want to rest. You don't have the headspace to think about anything else.
And through the week, you probably had so many business lunches and dinners that at the weekend you just want to stay home and eat homemade food.
But you're too tired to cook.
Just don't want to go out, but your partner's been stuck at home all the time, and they want to go out,
Yeah. They want to go out as well, and not only that, and then well, I guess there's some people who say, oh, if that's the case, don't it be better not to have a partner? Sure, but if you don't have a partner as well, then how how long are you going to be able to continue this for? You only get an income while you're working this basically soul drenching job, soul sapping job. Yeah, and if you stop, there's no money, or you have to find another job, and then the same thing again, or take a pay cut,
Yeah.
and then you end up like that. And how many years can you continue for? And so what you need then is someone to really have be able to take care of everything else, because you don't have time for it.
Is that the hard truths you were mentioning at the
Yeah.
beginning for
Yeah,
soft
not only that,
hearts?
do your investments, and so you can retire earlier. You don't have to continue doing this.
Yeah.
However, if you have a partner, all they want to do is just wait for you to be free on the weekend so you can go out. Well, that doesn't, and they do just look after themselves in the week during the week
Yeah.
and do what they want.
Yep.
Well, what's the point of having a partner then? In that case,
another person might say, okay, let's save so we can make some investments, so we can put some money into some investments. The other person says, no, let's go to the happy hour.
yeah.
And then, let's buy this and let's buy that and whatever.
With the money instead of
Yeah, very difficult.
and say, okay, let's do investment so you don't have to continue, so you can stop this this crazy job sooner, so you don't have to continue. But you
Hard
can't
truths for soft hearts.
Can't do that on your own. Okay, so that's in case where you need someone, even though you know in corporate you might have the knowledge or the inclination and the skills to do it, but you just don't have the time. And you're only able to be as one person, one place at a time. While you're in your job, you can't do that, and you no longer have the headspace. But say if something like a tradesman, okay, they'll work. I mean, because it's physical work, there is an expiry date on how long, on when you have to stop doing it. You're doing that. You can't do it. All you need is just dislocated disc in your spine or something like that. And that's it.
That's it. You can't do much.
You can't.
More.
Yeah. That's it. And then what do? The money was good while you kept working. But then what happens afterwards? You spend it all. Even if you were thinking of how you're going to, you want to have a nest egg or be able to retire early, this possibility can happen, and you can only work till a certain age. I mean, as a tradesman, you can't work till you're 70. There's no way. But you don't know how to go about it. And even if you do, you don't have the skills. And and secondly, the same thing. If you've got a job, or most tradesmen work on weekends as well, and on call and so forth, whenever the work is, you don't have time for it. Again, as we all do. Anyone that's working does not have time to do anything else really. Although 9 to 5 job, 5 days a week, and then on the weekend, what do? You mow the lawn, do your washing, then you're tired. I doubt that you even have inclination to go out. Some of the time you're so tired. Then it's Monday again. So now once you assess what you need, now you have to find the right partner for it. So you have an idea, Bluey?
Have to find the right partner. Well, that's not so easy. I mean, you can't just put it into Google Maps or whatever.
Yeah.
And say, find me that location. Here's my current location. Find me where the perfect partner is. It's
difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we will go to some music, and we'll go back and we'll go into
with more hard truths for soft hearts.
Yeah, I'll get stuck into it. Really is hard truths for soft hearts. Yeah. And so, okay. So now we're going to selecting the partner. Now that once you have figured out what you actually need in terms of what your goals are and so forth, and then you have to figure out the skills of the partner you need. You need a partner because, what you need, you don't either have the skills for, you don't know how to go about it, or you don't have time for it. So, if you're going to select a partner to help you in life, then once you figured out what you need, then you have to think about the qualities, the skills, and most importantly, the mindset of the partner, the type of partner that you need. For example, you need that person to be driven, want to achieve, be a saver instead of a spender. Very easy to spend, but saving, being able to save is a skill set in itself. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, where you can go, where you can be creative, so forth, and really think about purchases, sort of thing. Okay, what's appropriate to worth putting money into, and what isn't, so forth. And certain other skills, like you need a person to have legal skills, like be a lawyer or bookkeeper or accountant, that sort of thing.
Or even just administrate.
Or even just an administrator.
Most men don't do that very well.
Yeah, most men don't do that very well. So then it comes to the mindset. Okay, mindset of the person. Look, in terms of skills, you can go through a training course to learn that skill. So if that person or if the woman doesn't have, because this is mostly for men, doesn't have that type of skill,
send her cave courses.
Doesn't necessarily matter. Yes, you can be sent to a cave course or do an online course or whatever, but...
How would you do that? Just drop a few brochures down or...
No.
How do you break that? Look, you're not very good at this. Could you go and do some courses?
Courses, but...
You're a terrible cook. Go and learn how to cook.
Does she want to cook? Does she want to be doing the cooking? So the mindset is the most important. If she actually wants to, is driven to, and if of like mind with you to achieve that goal. So if she likes cooking, you would like to cook, but just isn't a very good cook, then that's easy. You can say, okay, do a cooking course, and she'll be all up.
Watch a few YouTube videos.
Yeah,
she'll soon get up on it.
Yeah, and she'll be all up. Yep, I'll do that because she wants to cook.
But if you don't want to cook,
then it doesn't matter. You can force them to. You'll have an argument over it.
They might be really good at it, but they might not want to do it.
Don't do it, then there's no point. That's an achievement. So that's something. So it's the mindset.
The mindset.
Most of all, that is what you can't change. Okay. So when you're dating, especially, you have to look out for it, and just really think about what type of qualities. So once you've got the set mind of the type of qualities that you want the woman to have,
you got to go out and try and find them.
Okay, this is one thing. Sometimes certain qualities and values are not a part of certain cultures.
Okay.
Yeah, the mindset. Because it's the culture.
Yeah.
You're not brought up in that. Yep. You're not taught that. So obviously you don't follow that. For example. For example, being money administrators. And to really being money driven to basically for financial security. That's an importance. In Eastern cultures, that's very important. Okay, basically financial security, but Western cultures not necessarily so. And so if you're looking amongst Western women, then you cannot expect that because that's not part of the culture. Okay, so if that's the case, then you really have to look for the exceptions. So there'll be very few amongst Western women that are up for financial security, driven for that. Before anyone goes to say, everyone wants financial security, I'll have to qualify that by saying driven for financial security. Okay?
You'll be driven.
So it'll be few and far between. It doesn't mean that it's not there, but the proportion is different. Okay, so you really have to look for the exceptions. But failing that, then you need to look to a culture where that mindset then is the norm. then you go then it's easy amongst the culture because there'll be lots of them.
As long as there's no other, it doesn't come with any other baggage.
Other baggage, and then you can filter through. I mean, you're not just going to pick up anyone. Obviously, you have in that culture, even if they have that mindset,
It sounds so exhausting.
because obviously
It's
you have to
hard
get
work.
along. You have to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are other things as well that you probably want to match up on as well. So that's all. Also, like I said, the values as well and the goals. So all of them. So yeah. So in a culture where that's the norm, you can have much more chance. Or even say you want someone feminine, very extruding their femininity. You're doing a lot of masculinity, a woman to be a woman. I guess that's a lot of Western men.
There's variant degrees. isn't there?
They're varying degrees. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
'Cause there's some women that are stronger than blokes.
yeah, but they then tend to think, oh, they look to Asian women because they want someone more feminine. They're so feminine. But having said that, yes, most of them are more feminine, but there's degrees of femininity as well. And somewhere, amongst them, to the degree that Mother, you want me to help you paint? Women don't do that. That's men's job.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
even ask.
Take the rubbish bins out.
Well, take the rubbish bins out
Yeah.
because you're busy at the moment or whatever. You're stuck on something, and they refuse because that's man's job. So they're unexpected consequences. Okay, of being there's a woman that's too feminine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, because she doesn't have the mindset.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the mindset of
She can do it,
being
but
a team.
because she's feminine, she
because
expects
she's
the male
meant
to
to
do
do it because that's a man's
it. Yeah.
job.
Even though that she can do it.
Even though she can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a man's job. And then it goes back to a mindset still of being a team player. So
Yeah.
still,
It's all right when you're working with a team.
yeah.
Like, I'll do this and you do that. You can get on well.
Well, but
But when
sometimes
one person's doing the work and you look around, the other person's sitting there on their phone or whatever and waiting for you to finish, so they'll give you the next instruction. That can irk people.
irk people a lot. I mean, it would wouldn't it? Yeah, most people.
Most people.
I don't think I've come across anyone and said, no, I don't mind doing everything while your partner sits there and does nothing.
Yeah. But it happens a lot.
It does happen a lot, and then that goes back to the mindset. Yes, through all this, underlying everything.
Better off I just
Team
do
player.
it rather than just
No.
cop all the
Yeah.
crap.
Then they go the crap, and then it goes to you need to choose carefully, make the right choice in the first place. Someone that has the a team player mindset.
Yeah. And then you can presume that you've made the right choice, and then you might find out later that you haven't.
Okay, there's ways of doing that. Oh,
Yeah, there's
filtering
ways
as
of
well.
finding. There's ways of like fast tracking the outcome.
Yeah.
And you can see because people will reveal themselves through actions.
Actions, yes. That was saying, this is the thing. Men complain that women present themselves to be very nice when they first meet,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden
That's
change later on.
That's what a lot of men
And reveal
can tell you. That's what a lot of men's. That's their jokes. That's a lot of their premise of their
Of their angst against
bane
women.
of their angst against women.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is,
Oh,
remember,
the first 6 months is the greatest.
It's a
Isn't it the greatest moment of your life? Oh, that's
period.
wow. You think, wow, this is so good, and then after that,
So the only way you really check their actions. Check the women's look. They for example, they may say that they're all in with building a future with you and so forth. I want someone to build this. They say, yeah, I can do it, and so forth. So how do you assess that then? What you can do is look at what they've done for themselves. Okay. Like if they're all in for building a future and being financially secure and building, let's take with
they would have remnants in their own life. There would be telltale signs.
yeah, science.
Oh yeah, I've got an investment portfolio. Oh, yeah, I do this. Oh yeah, I've got a secondary, I've got an investment property, I'm looking to do this.
Probably it has to be true because that's easily found out if whether or not they've got it, or the big thing is that no, I don't have it because I've never earned that much to be able to do it, but I'm great with building a nest egg with you, because that's what you want. So the person doesn't need to be wealthy. Because there's all sorts of circumstances. People don't have the resources, and so forth, is in a certain situation and so forth. But you look at that have stopped them from progressing where they could have been to their potential.
Yeah.
They don't have to be wealthy, but you look at what they've managed to do with what they have.
What they have. Yeah.
Their background, the situation, and resources available to them.
Yeah. Because you can plonk, there's been demonstrated many times, you can just plonk someone in the middle of this foreign country where he doesn't know anybody and he's got $100 in his pocket.
Yeah.
You give him 2 weeks and he's already turned things right around and he's made $1 million or whatever. He's got a penthouse suite in the main place or whatever. It's clearly seen that it's not because we're in a position, it's because what's between our ears. It's like, what can we do, how can we do it, and do we have the mindset to do it, and etc. But there are many instances where people can just suddenly, I heard a quote once, it says it's incredible what a person can do in only 1 hour if they're truly focused. What can we do in 1 hour? Now, most of us will allow hours to go by when we'd hardly achieve very much at all. But there are others out there that can do so much in 1 hour that can almost make our lives, like it would completely change our lives if we could do that.
Yeah. So
it's a very valuable consideration that some people out there.
It's a skill set.
Some people out there can do so much because they're focused, and other people can waste lifetimes after lifetimes, decades.
The skill.
Decades, and they don't, or the drive, or the
drive, whatever.
See, it just doesn't occur to people.
There's
a way through. If we always notice in this life, there's always a way through. When we have some trouble or something, if we just wait long enough, there's always a way through will be revealed. Usually, there's always a way through. And but the question is how do we find that? How do we come to that premise quickly? You see, it just doesn't occur to us. We don't have the energy to find that, to locate it. But yet, some other people do it
like that.
Just like that. And boom, the next day, within hours, everything's all turned around. And they're in a great position. All because of they could just find the way, you see.
But and you know what? I've realized, and because I've seen it time and time again, how much money you bring in is actually of less importance than how you manage it.
Yeah, it's not how much money you earn. It's what you do with the money you earn.
I've seen people earn.
Well, look at Bitcoin, for example. Like Bitcoin, I met this person in LA. He put $10,000 into Bitcoin. He sold them out at $10 each, and he made over it like he walked out with tens of millions of dollars. But
Yeah, but it could have been a lot more. But I've seen people. What I really trying to say is, I've seen people making like hundreds of thousands a year and so forth, and in the end, end up with nothing. And I've seen people barely. Being an office job, being a clerk, and ended up retiring pretty well for themselves. So it's how you manage and with what you have and what you do with what you have. It's more important. So someone who has the skill with what they are able to do, manage well with what they have. Imagine if they were given even more money, if you were the one earning the salary and they can manage it. You don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a high pressure job, or you're a tradesman, you don't know what to do. Tradesmen make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I wouldn't, I wouldn't be knocking off tradesmen. In a lot of instances, people say, it seems like unfair in a way. Tradesmen can make more than a doctor, which is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the mining industry.
Yeah.
In boom times. So that's a jig, but they don't know. They don't have the skills to manage the money or know what to do with it. because you're going to need to know regulations or what you can do, what's allowable, what's a better returns, and that's because that involves research, and they do not have the time nor the understanding or be able to do that.
So if a tradesman's bringing home $1,500, $2,000 a week, and he marries the right woman who's really smart at running money,
yeah, probably a day,
he can they could be worth millions in a few years,
or he end up
or broke.
Broke.
Yeah.
With a woman that all she wants to do is go to the hairdressers and beauty salon and do shopping.
Yeah.
And having lunch with friends.
Yeah.
And what's the point of having a partner like that?
Yeah.
It
and you
is
can't
basically
and
a
you
leech.
can't divorce because you can't afford it.
Yeah. It was basically someone like he's a leech
There's
on
a leech, and yet once if you marry a leech, you're stuck with it forever.
And you're better off on your own.
Yeah, well, you can't be by yourself because at the moment you do, you've got to pay child support, you've got to pay all the house, you've got to things. It just means that everything that you earn just about will go to them while you're sleeping on a park bench for the next 20 years. How wonderful is that vision? So you can see why a lot of men are not wanting to do it.
Yeah,
because they're in a vulnerable position. The wife can just say at any moment, "Get out of my house."
Yeah.
And what does the man have to do? He has to leave.
Because then
he has no say in it. He has no say in it.
He chose incorrectly.
Well, it's based on the law, isn't it? And there's also as well, it's like people can change it in some moment, and like if there's an argument or something, well,
people don't actually change. They just
get out of my house.
Self.
Yeah, get out of my house.
They change their true selves.
Yeah,
because it's more than just an argument that gets someone to the marriage disintegrates. It's underlying things. Things.
But a lot of the times, if you notice in marriages, is that everybody started off in the premise of loving each other and all of that. I saw this one the other day. This woman, she'd made this man pay child support all his life, and he didn't pay it, and so he got sent to jail. And he got sent to jail for 5 years, didn't think the child was his, had to pay the child support when he got out for another whatever, and then found out later on that the child wasn't his after all, and he had to go to jail because of it. And the woman knew all along.
Did you sue for
Knew all
fraud?
along, and she sent him to jail.
So she got defrauded. She defrauded him.
Well, she was found out later, but she didn't have to go to jail. But this man went to jail because she had said untruths, and she knew all along. And he wasn't even the father. He still had to pay. The dice is like it's loaded for most men, and you'll see now. I've just seen this new advent of AI and the new robotic systems coming in, and the robots are looking so lifelike. And I'm wondering what the premise of marriage will be in the future. What will happen with marriage in the future between man and woman? Because as you say, man and woman, when two become as one, it's a beautiful thing. It's a magnificent thing. When two become as one, what they mention in that good book or whatever, when two share the same, when the two people have the same focus, same ideology, whatever, same goals, and you become like one person. It's a beautiful thing. But where are we going to go in the future? With AI now coming in with relationships, now that you can change. Well, you all know that men like different varieties or whatever, and it's like can you imagine now that with the press of a button, all of these things that can hurt, and then men, I can talk about the premise from the men's position because I'm around, you're in it and you see it and you feel it and all that. But you can see, like men talk about women, the nagging and, I don't want to go home. She's, like one guy says, where are you going, sir? Why are you driving so fast? He says, I'm going home. Sorry, I'm going for a lecture on about alcoholism and staying out late at night and all that. Well, where's the lecture? At home with my wife.
You know what? You might program.
You can program the robot to mute.
Yeah.
You see, so you don't cop that. You see, and so it's now we don't even consider this as a possibility, but I can say in the next few years.
Yeah, I can say that
in the next few years.
The perfect.
What's going to happen with relationships?
I tell you, there'll be men that fall for it. But in the end,
It's maybe loneliness,
loneliness,
wouldn't it?
yeah, but in the end, it's a machine. It doesn't love you. And in a heart, there is no
But there
softness,
again, it doesn't hate you either. And
until
a wife does.
until it malfunctions or it
Bark.
has a computer virus. It gets a computer virus.
Army bark.
They go fix it or upload a code program or try to, if it
You
doesn't,
might
try
get
to
a
kill you.
beautiful looking, feminine looking robot, but it might talk like Army bark.
That's the thing, yeah. And you can't have a family with a robot, though the way they're going to artificial wombs. But you get the drift. It's like men that have pleasure dolls, but in the end, it's inanimate magic.
How baseless.
It's
inanimate. It's inanimate.
It's a machine. It's programmed to say it loves you. But you can take it apart, melt it, or whatever, or store it away.
Well, that's a benefit, isn't it? You can store them away.
So away. Well, you don't have to pay for an extra.
You can have the winter edition and the summer edition.
You don't have to pay for another flight seat. They'll just go in the cargo.
Oh no! Release all the air out, and you can fold them up.
Yeah. It goes into where to with your luggage.
Oh no!
Your luggage is. That's what you plane ticket today.
Yeah.
Travel.
Send a message. How you all right in there?
But anyway, look, yeah, look, we're getting back. All jokes aside, getting back to this now. It's serious.
Serious.
So okay, so if you want, like I say, if you want, for example, someone who have good money management skills, a woman to have, you can notice, especially when you are, doesn't matter what they say. Like I say, look at their actions. Like, do they check the prices of things before buying it? Because there's always, no matter what they say, and they try to keep up the premise, there's always going to be some things that slip. Because if behavior is not natural to you, then you have to keep remembering to do it. Yeah. And you can forget very easily. So do you notice that they always check the prices of things before they buy it, or just take it off the shelf? And also, so if it's not natural to them, they're not going to think of, I need to do this, I need to do that. You see? And what are their spending habits like? Watch their spending. I mean, the way they're spending is spending a lot on the willy-nilly.
Well, if they buy another pair of shoes when they've already got 1,700 of pairs of shoes in the closet.
Yeah.
You can't close the closet door because there's that many of them in. You can't even remember which one goes with which or whatever. Then you know that's a frivolous.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how they treat their own money. Imagine how they're going to treat yours. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I say, if they fake it, it's going to slip because they can't think of everything. Behavior that's that goes with being a good saver or a good money manager, because they're not that way inclined. It's not natural to them, and they don't know how do people act like that. So watch their actions. And you know what? Are they a team player? Do they put for example, do they put consideration into what you have done or paid for? But if, for example, okay, if when you're dating, I mean, if they also have a high or decent income, so maybe the same level as yours, well, maybe even higher, but they expect you to pay for everything. Okay, and even if, like I say, a person, as a considered person, even if they earn a lot less than you do, they'll still offer to pay every now and then. Or failing that, like I was saying, look, everyone...
They can do something else.
Not everyone has money, okay, or earns a lot of money, but everyone has time, and they put their effort into it. So, for example, if you were keep paying for the dinners and dinners out and so forth, and you don't particularly mind because you earn a lot more than she does, then there's no reason why she can't cook every now and then in return. Okay, if I cook a nice dinner or so forth, and I'm talking about like a decent dinner, not instant spaghetti and bottled sauce. Like, come on, put some effort into it.
Yeah.
You have to notice things like that.
Yeah.
And now this is the kicker. Now, if there are red flags like that, things like that, then you have to decide whether or not you want to go ahead. And if you do, then you cannot complain later. Like, I'll tell you a story about a guy. He's living with his girlfriend, and she earns a high income. And here he's being paying for doing one of the rare men that actually does the cooking. So he goes and buys all the food and so forth, and the cooking. I guess they share half the rent as well. And then the electricity bill comes, and she expects him to pay half of it as well, because he's living there. But doesn't think about, because, well, she didn't pay for half the food, and he put in all the effort.
Well, she probably did
into
think
cooking.
about it. She probably did think about it, but
that's entitlement.
that was bypassed
Then
very
there'd be
quickly.
entitlement, and that's him. And he's unhappy about it. And this is the thing: if these are red flag, and that was a red flag for him, but if he still ignores it, chooses to ignore it, and still continues with the relationship,
It's his own fault.
It's his own fault. So later, when they divorce, and she takes half of what he has, if they don't have children or child support, then can you complain? You have no basis to complain. You already knew there are going to be issues with her, and yet you still continued. So to men, I have to say, you take responsibility for your choices, especially if you knew beforehand that there are issues. And sorry to say that you cannot feel sorry for men like that, because knowingly they still want it. It's just like I get the example of someone that keeps going for sports cars, even though he's a mountaineer, loves mountains, bushwalking and hiking and mountain climbing. Just because he likes the look of sports cars, where he really needs a plain ugly Jeep that'll do the job for him. And then complains all cars don't work. Cars are all the same. They're shit and all that. Or you keep having sports car. Oh, but I like the look of it. But and if you keep liking the certain, and I notice the guy keeps going back for the same type of woman. Oh, really? You keep going back for the same, been burnt before. If you keep going back to the same thing, and you expect a different result, and keep being surprised that it's all the same, turns out to be the same. They end up being the
Expecting a
same.
different answer from the same.
It's different
same
result
input.
from the same choice. So this is the thing. Yes, women do need to step up. They want the dream, they want the romance. I mean, there are I
They
tell you,
want the house. They want.
all needs to be looked after and so forth. But they need a reality check and say, why would someone who have all that, be that good, want you? What do you bring to the table?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. And how can you expect? Like there are videos on you about the women dating situation in China. As you understand, because of the one-child policy, there are a lot of leftover men, so to speak, men that cannot find wives simply because there are more men than women. However, there are also what they call a lot of leftover women. Okay, because women, because 90% of women want the top 10% of men. Okay, and so that's not possible. But they're all waiting out and demanding that top 10% of men. This is their criteria.
Yeah.
And so
you see the shows, and it's like, oh, what will you give yourself out of 10? Oh, I'm an 8.5. I says, love, you're not even a 0.8. 0.8. You're not an 8.5. You're not even a 0.8.5.
When they put on the spot, what do you offer? And my love.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got this. I've got that.
I've got love. I look after myself, and I look pretty all the time, and saying, but lots of other women do as well.
Yeah.
So what would set you apart?
I've got good fingernails. Look.
Well,
that means you can't wash the dishes. You mean?
Yeah. With those nail
Can't wash the dishes with them on.
the fake nails.
You'll have to keep buying new rubber gloves because you keep piercing them all the time.
if you even can.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and so, or I'm too beautiful to work.
Hmm.
So this is the thing. That's why men, they appeal to men because they're nicely presented, they're social, and they're loud, and so forth. And they choose that, and then they complain. Whereas they overlook what would have been a far better match, like I mentioned before, the wife material woman. Okay, the woman
Well,
that
if they do find an elite man, what do they bring to the table that they will keep this kind of person around? That would make that person want to stay? Do they encourage? Do they bring a level of legal degree or some accounting knowledge or some form of something that or some form of motivation?
motivation. So this is come on.
Here's I've made you some lunch. It'll keep your protein levels up so that you can stay focused all the day long.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
basically on the basis of it, but I'll expand it in a later show. But really, a woman's job then a wife's, they're saying, is to really support her husband there to go out there and compete with other men and bring in the money.
Bring in the
They
money.
bring in the money. So it's her leg is support. Coming back to it, like I mentioned before, if you want to keep a partner, okay, very simple, is make sure you add value to your partner's life. If someone adds value to your life, you're never going to leave them, are you? Why would you?
That's the best form of defense against the divorce. That's the best.
Straying, even
Yeah.
people, straying or being temptation elsewhere.
Become of too much value that you're just simply too good
To risk losing.
to risk losing.
To risk losing. Would you want to risk where next time your man goes out and happen to meet a stunning woman? There's always temptation. Yeah, he's outside, but then you think, if I do this, what's at stake? I could risk this marriage, this really good setup I've had for myself, this life.
For what?
For what? For a night of fun, and so forth. Or even if you leave your best wife and that life for this, thinking that it's better, you have this beauty.
6 months later, you regret it.
Yeah, you regret it. What else is there? I mean, is it something just like a painting or something you bring home and just look at it all the time?
Yeah.
That's what it serves the purpose.
Yeah, you can look at it a few times, and then after a while, you don't even see it on the wall.
Yeah. It's that you walk past it.
Yeah. Even the great view, harbour view, or whatever.
Eventually,
Overlooking the opera house or whatever, so on.
Yeah.
You hardly even notice it.
And people get over it.
Mm-hmm.
You see it all the time. You get sick of it.
It's a bit like a trophy wife.
That's right. And to top it all off, we all age. It is undeniable. I mean, you got a trophy wife.
Good looks only last a short time. And that's the same for everyone. Yeah,
Same
good
for
looks
everyone.
only last a short time. I saw, Lauren Bacall. You remember her?
Yeah, she was absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
Okay.
And
When she got older, she was
she looked like a drop meat pie.
especially because her voice was quite masculine.
Yeah, she looked like a bloke.
Yeah.
And then she was talking about young men, trying to find a young man and all of that. When she was young, she would only need to snap her fingers.
And they'll come running.
Yeah. And then after a short period of time, it's the other way around. Even though you were the hottest person in the whole world, you were a super famous movie star, and after a while, once age sets in,
that's it.
You're like damaged fruit in the shop. Nobody wants it.
Get thrown in the bargain bin.
Gets thrown in the bin for the pigs.
Well,
oh goodness gracious!
All right, we're coming towards the end of our show.
Already?
You're going to have me talk about this. I hope everyone has gotten a lot from this. I mean, it is a little short, a 1 hour show, but it's be temporary, and we will go going back to our full 2 hour in the next few weeks. our show next few weeks. So in the meantime, follow me on my Facebook page, Miss Dragonfly, and Make Marriage Great Again. Try to follow both if you can, because I do post different things on the Facebook pages, but at least follow one. And leave your comments on what you think of tonight's show on my Facebook page. And if there is a topic you'd like me to cover, then feel free to leave it there as well. Okay, and if I can cover that topic, then I will. So that's the show for today, and thank you very much, Bluey, for coming in again today.
Once again.
Okay, once again. And to everyone then out there, thanks for joining me, and don't forget to tune in same time next week.
89.3 2GLF FM.
And until then, it's bye for now.